Great blessings, everyone. You truly are soul family, and I just want to celebrate you in taking this last 4 days of this abundance journey. It's so much fun doing these things because the collective, as we all come together with this focus, it always intensifies everything. And that's what I'm kind of hoping that we can do now to kind of bring this to, well, not a close, I would say, to a new beginning. And so I did kind of write some notes here that I'm gonna try to do my best to kind of look at it, because when I wrote this out, it felt so good to have something to kind of go through. So the very first thing that I wanted to tap into, and we're gonna open it up and let everybody kind of um, if they want to talk about or get some support on an intention moving forward and how we can use intention and then use this blueprint to continue the frequencies. I want that to be a big part of what we're doing and give you guys the opportunity to share, ask questions, that sort of thing. But one of the things I really wanted to start this off with was how when we activate these higher frequencies, that we can shift consciousness to meet it. And hopefully over these last 4 days, you became aware of maybe some limiting beliefs or things that are ready to leave your sphere, to leave your programmed experience of your body and your mind and your reality, and that you started to shed some of those. And as we kind of create this energetic blueprint through the DNA today, we can upload our intention to move forward. But in that is starting to recognize how we kind of speak to ourselves. And this was one thing that I was actually having a lot of fun with. And I actually even wrote some down. So I'll just share a couple that came to me of what would be more of a collective, and I mean collective more in a programmed or the matrix way of saying something, and then how I would say something more on a quantum level or through the frequency of source. So one of them was, what do I have to, like, what do I stand to lose? Like, what am I going to lose if I make this choice or if I move forward in this? And on the other side of that was, what can I gain? Like, how can I expand and how can I be of service? And if you feel like the difference in the expansion of what that feels like. And the other one that I found that was really, really powerful was, how do I say this? I have to rely on something outside of myself in order for something to come in. So an example of that, I need clients, or I need this, or I need that, to what can I do that's actually in my power in this moment to create my best life. And that, I feel like, was the most pivotal moment for me personally in these last 4 days, is getting to a place where I recognized, and on such a deep level that it was much deeper than maybe what I've experienced in the past, is that truly in each moment, the divine is pouring into me or expressing through me. And from that heart space, that heart portal, or the ability to attune my consciousness to that frequency within me, that there is always a choice. And in that choice, it is either I'm attuning and waiting for the next step, or I'm in an action step of the guidance that I was received. And how many times do we talk about this, right? But for some reason, this just like hit me at a much deeper, deeper level, into this place where maybe we can start to make, or for me personally, and maybe this is the invitation for you as well, is that we do open up to receiving guidance for bigger leaps. And I think that that's kind of what I would like to and open it up with now, as we kind of sit in what your experience was, and I'm going to just bring you back to gallery view here, and how I can support you in creating an intention and how to use that intention moving forward. So I think what I'd like to do is open it up to all of you to share where you are. If you need some support, we'll move into doing the activation. And if we have some time at the end, we'll reflect on how the activation was for you and that sort of thing. All right. Hi, Elizabeth. Go
It became really clear that I had a lot of fear about what all am I going to have to do for abundance. Like it
ahead.
just was this overwhelming unknown. And I was just in a lot of fear about that. So what you were talking about is shifting it into, it's going to be such a fun journey and adventure to do new things. I am open to guidance. It's going to be fun, one step at a time, just sort of shifting that. But that's what came up. But I've also been having a lot of vertigo issues. And so I wanted to know if it was related to what I've been doing the last 4 days, or is it something else?
Would you intuitively shut your eyes and just connect to your heart and ask your body, is this connected to the work that we're doing? Am I clearing something? And what do you feel in your body when you ask that question? What it,
Honestly, I don't know.
so when you ask that question, okay, let's just make it really easy. Is the vertigo a clearing? And do you feel like your body is a no would be more of like a contraction or a heaviness in your stomach? Maybe your body's kind of closing up. A yes would be actually joyful, because when we're clearing, of course, our body is like, yes, let's do this. And it's our mind that can have. So do you have a feeling one way or the other?
Well, it doesn't feel good. So I was
Okay, then that's it. Then I would say, well, when you say it doesn't feel good, what does that feel like?
well, it's fearful. I feel imbalanced. And so I did do a little bit of research, and it is about finding balance in your life. And, it is symbolic and everything happens for you. And so, you know, but
Okay. So, all right. I feel like the message here, and that was, thank you for kind of ending it with that. When we go, what's the first thing we do when we go into fear is that we want to find the answer that makes us feel better about the fear that we're feeling. And a lot of times we'll go outside of ourselves to find the answer, and we're feeding the ego so that we feel better. But really, all we're doing is feeding the ego something that's a false sense of security that's not even real, right? So with this, you're in this vertigo. So what I'm going to invite you to do, I have a feeling once we do the activation today, it's everything's going to start to line up, and it's going to go away. And it's not much. I think vertigo is something that is pretty common in ascension symptoms. And when we embrace ascension symptoms, they a lot of times will move through much faster than if we start to create stories and fear and all of that stuff around them. That doesn't mean that the fear isn't going to be there. It's not about denying the fear, but it's also recognizing that there is a shift going on. And am I going to go in the flow and allow the shift to happen, or am I going to create resistance around it? And that's where in that moment we get to, I had this really cool thing happen to me the other day. Is out there was all these little bats outside the window of the hotel I was in, and they were just so cute, and they were just doing the funnest little movements and stuff. I mean, bats move in like really crazy ways. And so I looked it up, and the message was and it was fear is courage walking. And if my friend that I was with was like, no, you should say it's courage is fear walk, or courage is walking through fear, or something like that. But that was, I just getting that message. It's we do it anyways, right? And that we don't allow the uncomfortableness and the fear to be what leads us, but the ability to recognize that we have the power to walk anyways. And in that, we become unstoppable, especially when we start to say yes through those divine heart space yeses. And that's what the invitation that I want to give you today, because I can tell that your blueprint is really big and it's exciting. And I know you're here to do some amazing work, and that is exciting. And to be a master and to walk this path isn't easy.
Mm.
And but you are just so supported, girl. I mean, just I can just feel the room that you're in right now is just like packing in with just all of the beautiful spirits and energies that want to support you here. And I know you know that in your
Yeah.
heart. And that's where I want you to go right now, and just let the rest of it fade away, because sometimes we just need to be reminded of how powerful we are. You
I
got
was hoping you'd say that. Thank you.
it.
I was hoping. It's just been so strange.
You got it. You got it. Okay. Does anybody else want to share about their experience or need some support in how to move forward in your intention? Anything at all? This is the time. Okay. So let me just look at my notes here really quickly. Okay, that was so perfect because I had navigating blocks. So I feel like we just kind of talked about that. And then, so really, I'm ready to, unless anybody else has their hand up here. Oh, yes. Hi, Fleur. Go ahead.
Hi. Well, what has been it's been an extraordinary journey, but it's been amazing that it's actually brought up quite a lot of dark stuff when I've been doing all this stuff, and a lot of this has been coming up. And I've actually been in floods of tears and things like that over the last couple of days, and that's been really interesting. When I did the DQ clearing yesterday, when he was saying about all of the various things that could be cleared, including things like I don't have the energy to do this, all of those kind of things, which was what was coming up. Like, do I have the bandwidth to be doing this kind of thing? And, I was sort of there nodding at everything he was saying when we were doing it, like one of those nodding dogs in a car, one of those little toys. It was like that. Everything he was saying really resonated. And I think that has helped to create a shift to be a bit calmer. But at the moment, it still feels like there is that transition energy, that bit of static about everything. I'm not quite sure, a little bit of guidance on sort of what to do, how to go forward would be great. Thank you.
Of course. Okay. So I feel like this is a really big message, and that it hit me so hard as well, is that when we are creating a change, our body is going to have a programmed response to that, because our bodies don't want us to change. It's a primal response to keep us safe, is, well, we know this is safe, so don't change. And when we start to choose to move beyond the frequency that we're currently holding, and one of the best ways to do that is to place an intention and put our focus towards that intention. And I would say the easiest part of that is actually saying yes to the intention. It's like, yes, I'm going to build this business, or yes, I'm going to do this, or whatever it is. But then we're activating that frequency, right? Now, all of a sudden, we've activated this frequency within our body, and our body's going, yeah, I don't really want to go there. Like, I don't know that place. It's abstract. It's unknown. So I'm going to start to release a chemical, um, so that you start to question it. And that can feel like fear and anxiety. Well, then what does our mind do? Our mind wants to understand, why am I afraid? Why all of a sudden am I nervous about this? Like, why I was so excited when I said yes to it, and now I'm like scared and I'm starting to doubt. And that's your mind responding to a chemical response or a program of your body. And so that's why having consciousness and somewhere to go, that shifts our focus. Well, what is the easiest way to do that? is to, when you're placing your intention, and we're doing this activation today, really go to your hearts, you guys. What is the divine asking of me? What is my intention? Because when we place an intention through divine guidance, it is the most powerful experience. When we're just like, well, I want $10,000 so that I don't ever have to work again. And I mean, $10,000 a month, so I never have to work again and I never have to fear anything and my life is perfect. And so instead, ask the divine, how should I be living if I had $10,000 a month? What would you use me as a vessel for? And even if it's like, well, if I had $10,000 a month, then I would move. Okay, so I would rather your intention be, I want to move. Guide me to where that is, than the $10,000 that's going to bring you there. Do you see the difference? Because one of them is very specific in what you would use the money for versus just the money itself. So getting back to you, Fleur, when we are triggered that way, is there's an opportunity, because when we are in that space, when we start to go into the resistance, it's an opportunity. And the opportunity is to recognize that you are running a program and that we can choose something differently. And that's why we have amazing tools to help us with that. So it could be as simple as go outside and go for a walk, go take a shower, do anything to interrupt. And that's what I love about the copper card, is you can literally do a quick shift in 3.5 minutes. You have reprogrammed your body. So what's happening in that 3.5 minutes? The first minute and a half, you're doing nothing. You're observing yourself, naming the fear. So if you're in fear, you're just watching your ego wanting to spiral, but you're observing it, right? You're not going into the spiral. You're just observing the chemical response in the body. You could even say, the chemical response is making my heart beat faster. I'm starting to sweat. I want to get up and just not even have to deal with this. I want to run away. I want to freeze, that fight or flee. Like, start saying what's happening in your body as the chemical. 90 seconds, you guys, is what it takes for a chemical to run through your body. And then what do we do in the next 2 minutes? We can take that copper card and do a quick shift. And in that quick shift, it takes about 2 minutes. And in that 2 minutes, you're activating a higher frequency. And then you have somewhere for your consciousness to go. And if you don't have a copper card, just ask. Divine, pour into me, activate a higher frequency so that I can focus on the guidance, the purity, the peace, the love that is also within me. And you just reprogrammed. And it's not easy. If it was easy, we would all do it, right? The hardest part is to actually do it. But once we get to the other side, we open up, we're clear, and we're ready to step back into our power. In those moments where we feel like we need help, we ask for it. And one of my favorite things to say is, divine, give me strength, give me stamina. Give me strength, give me stamina. That's like all I can do right now, is just ask for that and do everything in my power, and know and when I'm in this place, I do not make decisions ever. I never make decisions when I'm afraid. I'd never take action when I'm afraid. But you know what? I also never take action when I am flooded with any kind of chemical like excitement or joy, because I do not make decisions based on a chemical response of the body. I wait until it's a peaceful, divine, clear yes. And there is no chemical response in that yes. A divine yes is very peaceful, open, expansive, very grounded. You feel how that feels so different. And then when we say yes in that place, we are always guided to the right place. And that's how we stay in flow. Thank you, Fleur. I know that was super.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's just perfect. Thank you.
Beautiful. All right. Let's see, Diana, we'll go with you, and then Jennifer, and then we'll go right into the activation.
In the mornings, I do a barefoot walk and I have borage plants growing all over there. Got really tiny little beautiful flowers. So each morning I go along and I eat some because the borage is awesome. And I pet is about courage. So I like when I eat them, it's like, giving every cell in my body the courage. But your activation on the DECU one, it really hit me was because the work we've been doing is gaining purity. And way back then, my sisters didn't thought I was sleeping. And they were talking about me, but I heard them. And what they were saying, it's too bad she's so pure. And I didn't realize that conflict. And then the other one was being left out. So being pure and that I get left out. And when you said that, I realized what a conflict has been going on inside of me. So therefore, I just withdraw because so that was a big thing. And I'm putting my vegetables away from my organic garden right now. And it was really interesting as I'm listening to you while I'm doing it. It's interesting how I've really become aware how my mind travels. And I've also put my vegetables away in BPA vacuum packed. And it was like no more plastic and it was figure it out. So I'm putting things in jars. And then when I kind of get stuck, when I'm in that quiet place, the answer comes through and it's always kind of perfect. So it was trust that in my rest of my life, right? Yeah. So thank you.
That was so beautiful. You know what I was hearing when you were talking about in that conflict within the purity is at like in that space is like, okay, as this pure vessel, divine, how would you lead me? And then it's not up for us to decide, the ego trying to figure out, but you just open up that channel and let the purity actually be part of the beauty that you bring into this world and allow the divine to guide that purity in a way that maybe you haven't experienced yet before, and that will break through the barriers of any duality that maybe it has created for you in the past. So it was just like,
thank you.
thank you, honey. And I see your purity. It's really beautiful. All right, Jennifer.
Quick share, feel guided to share that for many years before I met Jules, I was in a lot of lack in many areas of my life. And when I met Jules, I started out with that $10,000 a month intention. And Jules was able to help me turn it into what it still is to this day of inviting the divine to help me manifest or to manifest, well, let me say it again. Tapping into an intelligence outside of my programming to help manifest my best life ever. And why? So that I can be in the highest level of service in the creation of the new earth. That has served me, and to this day, my life has changed dramatically. However, I will say my avatar has had to shift as of recently. It just started to not work as well for me, and it was time for a softening. But I just wanted to say that that larger picture is so helpful because it gets the ego out of attaching to those numbers and what that's going to look like and what's that going to mean. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's the perfect way to kind of go into this blueprint activation, because what you just said, Jennifer, is really the most beautiful way to manifest abundance is when we allow that abundance to not be what our minds may say that we want, but actually open up to, what is it to live my best life, and not go to our minds to answer that question, but to our hearts, and allow the divine to speak through us. And then in that, as conscious beings, what is our job? Well, we listen and we wait for those absolute divine yeses, and we take action when necessary. And then there's going to be times where there's no action. Well, what do we do in those moments? We live our best life. We enjoy it, right? It's like, okay, well, there's nothing to do right now. So I'm just gonna just use this time to nurture my soul and to enjoy the things that I love. And I know when the time is right to do the next right thing, I'm gonna be given it. And we just continue to live our lives right now. So whatever your intention is, there is no right or wrong. Intention is a very powerful way to raise our frequency. And so if it is $10,000 a month, use it, right? If it's, I want to live my best life, that's my intention. I'm going to activate that into my blueprint. Amazing. If it's, there is something that you have been called to bring service into the world, then upload that. But what we have to remember is that's our job. Okay. That's our job, is we put our intention, we're going to upload it into our blueprint. And I keep going like this because our blueprint is going to be within our body, and we're going to activate this blueprint, and then we follow, we listen, and we do. And that is, I will tell you, the most magical way to live life. And that is the invitation that is here for each and every one of you, is that as we come together, let's see how many people we have. We have, with our 51 people that are on the call, and then we're going to invite in the other 270 that are part of this, that will be watching the replay, that together as a collective, and that's giving me chills, as a collective, as a soul family, that we are amplifying this into a unified field. So even though our intentions may be personal to us, the intention of having the divine frequency, having the universal field, that unified field of the intelligence of source, come and be activated on a cellular level through the DNA, uploading what I call our divine software system, or divine technology, so that we become a walking energetic vortex, if you will, of the energy, allowing the divine to guide our lives. And that is a very powerful thing that we are all saying yes to. So in this moment, go into your heart and just, have this little silent moment of saying yes to that energy. And we will begin to go through the activation here. So I'll just have everyone shut your eyes. If you feel as though you want to lay down, you're welcome to. Just whatever feels best for you to receive. And we're going to just start by attuning the body. So we're going to breathe in a white blue light. And then as that light breathes in, you're just going to allow it to trace along your brain, moving down to the base of your spine. And as it hits the base of your spine, you're just going to feel that beautiful wave as the light moves up through your spinal column and into the pineal gland. Just feeling that natural release of the frequency of source. And then you're just going to breathe in again, allowing that light to trace along your brain, moving down to the base of your spine, creating that beautiful wave, attuning your spinal fluid, allowing that light to enter your heart space, feeling it as it begins to move through your bloodstream, activating all of the cells of the blood, holding that frequency of 963, or source frequency. And then just breathing in one more time And as you bring the light to the base of your spine, just holding the breath for about 10 seconds. And then breathing out as that light shoots up and moves into the pineal gland, feeling it expand. Feeling that light as it's activated the heart and the mind and every cell of your body. And then we're just going to move into the heart space as we connect in to that quantum portal, connecting to that divine guidance, the divine yes. And if you'd like to place your hands on your heart, just to allow your thoughts to drift to that place. And just taking a moment to let down any guards, any fears, just with as much humility, gratitude, moving into that soft place of full surrender, just saying, yes, I am ready. I am ready to live the life of this divine intention. I am ready to say yes. We're guided. I'm ready to surrender and be still until the guidance comes. I'm willing to live the life of miracles. I'm willing to have courage in the fear. I'm willing to celebrate the victories. I open myself as a clear channel. And then just allowing yourself to rest as that frequency runs through your body, attuning the primal programming to just know that this change is safe. Allowing the divine to attune that primal body, allowing any blocks, any last residue that needs to clear out, move into the frequency of source, activating the higher operating system of your body, that innate knowing that is connected to the intelligence of source that is stored within. And then we'll move into the master cell in the center of the pineal gland. And this cell is connected to every cell of your body. As we connect into the DNA, activating the frequency of 963, allowing every cell of your body to release this frequency, the frequency of source. And as this frequency is released, it begins to tap into the electrons of your body, feeling the electricity, feeling the electrons as they begin to click together, creating a system, a software system that is made of the intelligence of source. They call this the soft technology. This is the quantum field within your body. just by asking for it to activate, it turns on, allowing your body, your mind to move beyond programming and immediately tap into the frequency of the intelligence of Source. This frequency is stored within you. This intelligence knows everything. And just feeling that frequency as it intensifies and amplifies just by paying attention to it. And as we tap into the electricity of every one of your cells that is now attuned to the frequency of Source, knowing that you have over 50 trillion cells, and each one of those cells holds 1.4 volts of energy. With the intention, we'll push that energy into this quantum experience of your body that is holding this divine blueprint that is being created so that your body becomes a blueprint of your intention held in the intelligence of Source. Just feeling as every cell begins to spin, electrifying your divine blueprint, allowing the frequency of your body to raise even higher as this blueprint strengthens, intensifies. And then stating your intention as you hold your consciousness in the experience of this divine blueprint. You can say it aloud or to yourself, but through the frequency of Source, through the voice of the divine, stating your intention and allowing it to upload into this blueprint. Just taking a moment to have the experience of what it feels like for your intention to run through this blueprint, allowing the divine intelligence to inform it, allowing it to be an experience through your body. That your body is the most advanced technology there is. Has over 50 trillion volts of energy. And by harnessing this energy, allowing it to connect to the frequency of Source, you have the power to experience your intention through an intelligence that is so beyond the mind that it becomes a life of miracles. Just allowing yourself to attune just by matching the frequency. Just consciously allowing yourself to have the experience of what it feels like. And then we'll just complete the blueprint by stating that I activate this blueprint now. And just noticing when you express to experience the intention and the frequency of the Source in this beautiful divine moment. that the frequency of your blueprint intensifies even more. As we connect together as a unified field, feeling that frequency getting even higher. And then just returning to your breath. If you'd like to breathe in that white blue light, as you bring it down to the base of your spine, just allowing it to expand, allowing your consciousness to fully attune and ground into the frequency of your blueprint, knowing that you are now a divine operating system, that everything that you need to know will activate at the appropriate moment for you to take action, to feel inspired, to live that life of miracles. Just allowing yourself to relax as you breathe out. And then if you'd like to go ahead and place your hands on your heart space just one more time. Just feeling the gratitude for the experience that you're about to walk into. Just opening your heart and feeling the expansion. And then when you feel led, you can go ahead and open your eyes. And then if anybody has any reflections or would like to share their experience, this is the opportunity to do so. Yes, Kathy.
I wanted to say, recently with these experiences and doing the a process for the last few days, also when I'm, um, doing that and in the activation and your voice is really so beautiful and soft and so easy to follow. And I'm in whatever I'm in, just different, space. I'm feeling more stronger energies, I'll say, with something working. I'm hoping it's reprogramming for a better way to tap in more. But I not only feel it stronger, and whereas before it wasn't, it only started in the last couple of weeks, I'm actually feeling it to be like, maybe I shouldn't say painful, but a lot of like pressure and movement. And I have a high tolerance for pain, so I probably shouldn't say painful, but maybe pressure. And mostly it was mostly uh in the top and through, the brain. And sometimes I can literally feel, like, I swear to God, like left and right going. But now I feel it concentrated sometimes in the right. And in the program the other day, I think it was the second day or third day, I could feel it like the left under my ear space. And I don't know what that is. I mean, is it just that it's attuning more?
It's energy. It's the shifting.
Right. It's the energy, right.
Yeah, it's the energy shifting. And then I was also, there's going to be some brain realignment, and we have to experience also what I'm hearing, and especially because you're getting a lot of it up here, is the attuning of that frequency that's activating. And I call it the divine mind, right? Because we start to experience uh our body, not just our brain, but our whole entire body as a quantum system. And in that, we kind of will move through what maybe the physical part of that would feel like into more of the expansion of that. But part of that is when there's little places of density, we'll get like some pressure or some sensations. And then normally, if we just pay attention to it, kind of by observing it, it normally will shift pretty quickly, and we can actually have the experience of where it's actually moving to and going to another space. So just have fun with it.
I can sometimes. Yeah, I feel it. It reminds me of when I had migraines for 3 years, a long time ago, and I could literally feel the pain moving. It was horrible. But the other thing I already said, I also, I do, my body literally has the physical spinning. So I know something has been majorly going on.
Yeah.
You know? So I mean, I go with it. Sometimes it's faster and sometimes it's more mellow, which is good. But anyway, so something's going on.
What I'm also feeling, and this is the opportunity for all of us, is to really do start to harness the energy of our body. And when we start on a DNA level and we allow the frequency of source to be released on a cellular level, and we're connecting into those voltages of energy, and we're putting our consciousness behind that to where we're collaborating with the divine. I mean, can you guys imagine 50 trillion times 1.4 volts of energy? I mean, just play with that as you're moving into when you get divine guidance to go take action. Go in, activate that frequency in your body, upload it into this divine blueprint that we just created, and let yourself be this walking energy vortex. I mean, just think of the power that you have to shift not just your body, not just your mind, but your reality with that. This is how powerful you are, and start to play with that. Let the divine guide you on how to use your operating system to be of service, to create a divine life, all of these beautiful things. So thank you, Kathy, for you're having a small portion of where you're moving into, because it's just going to get more and more intense, and in all the beautiful ways, right? Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to share or have a question? So from here, I feel like this kind of last little part is how to move forward is to really practice those divine yeses and really learn, what does my body feel? Is my body open? Is it expansive? Am I feeling at peace in saying yes to this? Or am I contracting? Am I in fear? We don't make decisions from that place. And knowing that we can say big yeses and we take those leaps, and then we're halfway down and we're like, oh, I don't know. And just know that in those moments that it's okay to feel some doubt and some fear, but we always have somewhere to go. And that's when we ask the divine to reactivate this blueprint. Let me experience what this is, what's possible here. And just know that in moments of fear that it will pass. It will pass, and that we can go back into that heart space. And sometimes the best thing to do is to just go for a walk, take a shower, or play in mastering. What is it to walk in courage? And even when we're afraid, because fear has a lot of energy, and we can actually harness that energy and expand our reality through the frequency of divine when we bring fear and allow it to connect into that frequency of 963. It's no longer fear, it's just energy. So play with that as well. The other thing is that on the 22nd, I am doing a abundance retreat where well, I don't know what all we're going to do. It hasn't fully come through, but it comes with a bottle of abundance oil, ORMUS. So if you don't know what ORMUS is, I invite you to go to our ORMUS page on the website. We have our resources where I talk a little bit about what ORMUS is. It is a superconductor. It is one of the most magical ways to manifest, to raise your frequency and activate your pineal gland and DNA. And I am going to be releasing my book on ORMUS probably in the next couple of months. I've been just really deep into wanting to share what ORMUS is. It's a passion of mine. So I just invite you to stay on the lookout for that, because I'll be excited to share that. But one more shout out. before that is that Serena, raise your hand, Serena. So Serena and I have, she was just so gracious to come in and take the smorgasbord of my work. And I mean, literally, I just like copy and pasted everything that I've ever written in my entire life and gave it to her and said, help me make a book with this. And it's been almost a year and a half, I believe. And it sounds like we are really close to getting ready to publish BioQuantum. And I'm getting chills because it's literally everything that I've taught up to a little bit of the DMT codes. And so we will be doing a launch party with that together and inviting everybody to come. So stay on the lookout for that as well. And I just want to honor you, Serena, for hanging in there because I know this was not an easy thing, but she is a brilliant author and editor, and I know that I couldn't have done this without her. So thank you. So talking about manifesting, that's like sometimes it can be quite the journey. But anyways, I just want to say thank you to all of you. And if there's anything that I can do to support you moving forward, you are always welcome to email me. We are family. We're doing this together. And I just want you to know how much I love you. And from here, I guess we will see you next time. Enjoy the frequencies and definitely reach out and let me know about the little miracles that may come through. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you.